Let me ask you, what Georgia can expect from the London summit, because it's quite unlikely that we'll receive the much cherished membership action plan, and we already got the golden package. So what's next on the table? Platinum one or something?
We've had a really strong success with a substantial NATO-Georgia package. And now I think we're at a place where Georgia is moving from being in a kind of mentorship relationship with NATO, where NATO is the mentor, and Georgia is paying attention. Now we're in a more equal, I would say, partnership where Georgia is actually providing security in the NATO context increasingly. For many years, you've already been a very strong supporter of our Resolute Support mission in Afghanistan and the ISAF mission before that. So Georgia has been really a strong partner in so many ways. And now I think we need to focus on building up that partnership and really looking at what you need for your security and then how we can interact in a way to provide it.
Is there already an understanding of what's needed?
I think that we've been talking quite a bit, and we in fact are here in Batumi to visit your Coast Guard vessels and also to visit the boarding crews who have been trained with NATO help. I think there's a recognition that Black Sea security is going to be an important priority area to move forward on.
Regarding the Black Sea security, Georgia is in fact a country that cannot boast that it has any substantial amount of fleet or anything. So how important a role can it play?
You know, I'm a great admirer of the Coast Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard, any Coast Guard, because they are right at the center of border security from the seaside, from the ocean side for their nations. And so I think that what the Georgian Coast Guard is doing is extraordinarily important. Obviously, you are a Black Sea littoral state, so it's most important to protect your shores from the security challenges that can come at you, whether they're a country such as Russia promulgating them, or whether you have other problems to deal with, such as illegal smuggling. It's very important that your borders be defended, and the Coast Guard provides for that. I think not only in building resilience, that's part of it, but also in building capacity, in making sure that you have the maritime situational awareness capability, for example, and making sure there's a good flow of information constantly. And one of the things we're doing is working on better sharing of information, including intelligence sharing.
If I were to think that would also translate in some sort of technical capacity to defend from any sort of invading threat, would that be wishful thinking?
Well, I think that it's important, as we think about it, to always be focusing on deterrence and defense. And that means having the capability, the capacity, and the training to represent enough uncertainty to any possible aggressor that they, in fact, do not.
You do
that they're not tempted. Yes, exactly. So I think it's important to bear that in mind, that it's something that every country works on every day, enhancing their deterrence and defense capacity. And so Georgia is no different in that regard.
Let me ask you also, much talk has been about the deep sea nuclear port, whether you're aware of the developments and what's the importance that it could play for NATO's, from NATO's perspective.
Well, I have been hearing quite a bit about the Anakli port since I've been here. I had read about it in the press. I think in general, I'm going to make the comment that NATO is interested in ensuring economic health for countries in the region. It makes for better security and stability if a country is enjoying economic benefits from trade and economic relationships. To the degree to which a new port here in Georgia is going to help to up your, the health of your economy and facilitate trade and economic benefits, I think that will be good for Georgia's economic health and, in the end, your security and stability.
Lastly, finally, another dimension that I wanted to explore. There's been much talk and discussion about the statement that former Secretary General Rasmussen made about his so-called formula, although the US scholar Luke Coffey was also voicing the similar opinion. So what do you think of it. Would that be a feasible scenario? Is there any discussion? Has there been any discussion in NATO about that?
There has not been any discussion in NATO about it. I think one message I'd like to stress is in terms of discussion and debate among any NATO allied member country or among our partners, it's really up to you what you want to discuss and debate. But I think from our perspective, we really want to focus among our allies and with Georgia as an aspiring NATO member on what needs to be done. Keep our eye on the prize. That's why that we want to focus on what Georgia needs to do to acquire NATO membership, and that means continuing to work on your reform processes, political reforms, and in the defense establishment, and continuing to work with NATO allies to do so.
If we were to say, yes, we want it, would NATO be eager to discuss it? Such kind of...
Well, let me put it this way. I think it's up to you to discuss and debate any matter. And of course, we're willing to listen to your conclusions, but the important thing for Georgia over time is to develop consensus among NATO members about embracing Georgia as a full member of NATO.
Exactly.
So
would that result in a consensus?
What you need to do is focus on building up Georgia's capability and capacity for deterrence and defense, for being a security provider. To me, that is the prize you need to keep your eye on.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.